Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much. And every time I hear you talk about Collaboration Global, I get excited because it was a gift when I discovered you all. First, I discovered Gina and was on her show, and Gina referred me to Collaboration Global, where I was so excited to find so many like-hearted, like-minded people. So if any of you do schedule one-on-ones with me, which you're more than welcome to do for a chat to say hi, I will pitch Collaboration Global. So just prepare yourself. Okay. It's been amazing for me. And I hope I've been able to contribute as well. And thank you, Linda, for everything you shared around uncertainty and change. I absolutely loved it. I loved, my favorite part, surprisingly, was it just is. Not right, not wrong, just is. And I could even tell, I had 100 stories come to mind that I won't share about times in my life where people told me that I should like a certain food or anything else. And I'm just like, but I don't. Why is that so hard to understand? So having that kind of compassion as we talk to people, and also realizing, as you said, that we are able to rewrite our DNA, we are able to change. So some of the things we've said that we can't, won't, never will, don't know how to do, doesn't necessarily hold water if we're willing to think and grow. We're not static. We're growing an incredible humans. Humans are incredible, incredible. So I'm going to pop in my links here again in a minute. I'm going to share my screen, but first, I just want to let you know a tiny bit about me. This is going to go so fast, Jill, already. I can just tell. So I have some great content for you as well. So this is going to be the 1-minute version. If you want more, we can talk some other time. I had a very unusual background. I grew up in an extreme right-wing, basically a Christian cult-like environment in the United States, way out in the middle of nowhere. I was homeschooled, as in no friends, until I was about 15, 16, and then went to extremely conservative, tiny private high schools and colleges, married within my faith, was programmed from day one to see the world from a very myopic point of view in a very specific kind of way. I married young. That went south. I was really unprepared for the real world or had any clue about really what real life is. I turned out I was married to a sociopath who was living multiple lives in other states and at other houses, other women. I was devastated. So I think that Linda's question about how do you deal with change and how or if do you become resilient, I shared with our small group that I didn't used to handle it well. But what I realized was one of the ways to start bouncing up from the bottom when you hit it is to learn to love and appreciate yourself for who you are, even if you feel like you're worthless, even if everyone's told you that you are, even if you don't feel intelligent, even if you don't feel well-trained, even if you don't feel like you have the tools or gifts to make an impact or make a difference. You have to give yourself the opportunity to learn to like yourself, to love yourself, to develop self-confidence. And there's so many ways to do that, and so many people in this room who are experts at that. But I will just share the one piece of developing my self-confidence and bouncing back from that whole experience was learning that when a mentor had told me long ago, which was when you really hit rock bottom, it's time to start giving back. When you really doubt yourself, it's time to start sharing with others. So I really did that. I got involved with Amnesty International, other organizations, and started realizing how my little problems were nothing compared to so many of the bigger problems, and that I could relate to others who felt like they didn't have a voice. I was especially working at the time with for Middle Eastern women who did not have a voice in their situation. And I related to that because of the religious element, as you might expect, coming from such a strong patriarchal environment myself. Opening up my freedom and learning to get to know myself sent me to Hollywood, where I was an actress for 10 years, crazy twisting turn of events, but also continued to follow my gifts of teaching, coaching, training, got my certification at the College of Executive Coaching in Santa Barbara. And then my life and businesses, plural, as I grew as an entrepreneur and then later a social entrepreneur led me to where I am today, which is sharing passionately about what is social entrepreneurship and how does it make a difference and how can we expand this global conversation. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I apologize if I'm talking fast, but it's just going to have to happen. Okay, let's see here. Get rid of this. I am all over the place. Here we go. All right. All right, I'm gonna push play. If you can't see my screen, please wave your hands or let me know. Can everyone see? Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right. So the new entrepreneur. So my passion is that what the entrepreneur was in the Western world in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, where you went to school, to high school with kids and college who their primary motivation was to make money, to be the best, drive the nicest car, to have the biggest house. Now, obviously, I'm American, and that has a very distinct element of individuality, success, money, that is not shared as much in so many parts of the world. But that was the driving force. If you were an entrepreneur, you were going to make it or you were going to break. .coms, everything else, that's what it was about. And what I see for the future is changing the global conversation around entrepreneurship to be about social entrepreneurship, making what we're already doing with the drive and talents we already have into a endeavor for social initiative, as well as being able to make a profit. And this is partly what the difference is between social entrepreneurship and nonprofit. So reinventing how we solve social and environmental problems. And you'll get a taste of how some of your peers are structuring their businesses differently. So what is social entrepreneurship? A social entrepreneur is an individual that creates a for-profit enterprise that offers innovative solutions to address social or environmental issues. It combines the principle of entrepreneurship with a focus on social impact. It pursues sustainable and scalable solutions to create lasting change. This way, you can empower your community to drive their own development and progress, create more sustainable and lasting results. And this challenges the status quo to create a more just and equitable world. Is it for-profit or nonprofit? There are a wide range of definitions. There is no super clean-cut, tight definition for social entrepreneurship, which also means we can continue to nail this down as part of this greater global conversation. But the primary difference is it's not just based on donations, and the services typically aren't free, or if they are, it's because the entrepreneurship has made the money to provide the service. This I'm going to share with you because it's a 60-second video, but I think it encapsulates so well what social entrepreneurship is. I'm gonna have to skip down. Here we go. Let me make sure I have maximized this for audio. If there's any problem, again, please raise your hands. All right. Oops, sorry. Back we go. All right, and play.
Social entrepreneur. A social entrepreneur is a person who is interested in starting a business for the greater social good and not just the pursuit of profits. They are willing to take on the challenges, risks, and responsibilities to solve community-based problems and create positive changes in society. A social entrepreneur might be seeking to produce an environmentally friendly product, provide a service to an underserved community, or even focus on philanthropic goals. They may do this to connect to their life's purpose, to help others find theirs, or to make a difference in the world. The growing trend in social entrepreneurship has been inspired by things like impact investing, conscious consumerism, and corporate responsibility programs. A common example is microfinance institutions. By providing banking services to unemployed or low-income individuals, entrepreneurs are helping those who would otherwise have no access to financial services. Another example is when a social entrepreneur brings high-speed internet to remote communities, giving children more access to information and resources. These days, social entrepreneurs often turn to mobile technology for ideas. Developing apps to fill a social need, such as alerts for downed power lines or reporting abuse of citizens by city officials, can help better an entrepreneur's own community.
That's a great little summary there by Investopedia. There are a whole bunch of organizations that help fund social entrepreneurships when you're a grassroots enterprise trying to get started, even if as a for-profit. And in fact, in my mastermind, I teach there are 9 sources of income for social entrepreneurships, 9 sources of funding. I'm going to share a few words with some people that I know and love who are social entrepreneurs. This First one is there's a program called Amira Rose for trauma victims, and this is by Princess Duncanson. She was a victim of childhood sexual trauma, so now she offers programs for women and girls to help find help and resources for prevention and rehabilitation. What motivated you to find an income producing solution to help solving some of these social problems that you are working so hard on?
My husband and I got our real estate license, and we just really did it as like, a second source of income. Just to say, hey, we're gonna do it. He always wanted to be an investor. But then I realized, I said, you know what? I can take my profits that I make from real estate, and that's how I published my book. And that's how I have events, and that's how I'm able to show up and give back and to donate and to help out. So now, like, everything that I do with my real estate, obviously part of it is for profit, right? For me to live a life that I like to live. But a lot of it really does go back into a mirror role and what I can do to help other people and what I can do to help the women. I have t-shirts, I have things that I give away. A lot of times I go to events and I just give my book away. I give the shirts away because I feel like the impact that it can give is way more than the profit that I can receive.
All right. So I love her. She was on my show, and that show will be in the links as well. So another wonderful person, I just adore her work, Tammy Jordan, a socialpreneur. She provides rehabilitation for adults in recovery, but her special area and the way she got started was helping ex-con women in West Virginia find ways to reintegrate back into society, to learn professional skills, to develop professional resumes, and be able to get jobs. So I'm going to let her share a bit of her story. Growing up in the beautiful, lush mountains of West Virginia, Tammy Jordan has always had a deep love for nature. At the age of 5, she dreamed of owning a farm. After over a decade working with USDA, so that's the United States Department of Agriculture, in agricultural research, Tammy left the federal job and went full-time with her company, Fruits of Labor, Inc., which marries agriculture and the culinary industry. The company expanded into retreats with the addition of a 218-acre Fruits of Labor Retreat Center and Agricultural Production Center in 2012, which offered expansive production gardens, a training orchard, berry production, mushroom production. Fruits of Labor also operates 5 training cafes, which is especially what we're talking about today, bakeries and coffee shops across the region, 5, to provide education, certification, training, and employment for adults in recovery.
We started our business in 2001, and then in 2009, I went to visit a lady that I knew in Alderson Prison. And that really transformed my view of how can my company do something beyond production or beyond weddings and catering and the things that definitely made my heart happy. So I had that calling into agriculture and production and into catering that moved me throughout my life. But then it was about a little over a decade later that purpose was added to it. And so when I talk to social entrepreneurs, is that don't worry which comes first. Sometimes our purpose comes first and we have to learn how to live it out. Sometimes the calling and the things that we love and what we're talented in comes first, and then it's connected to a deeper purpose. So that visit really transformed the way that I looked at how a for-profit can be meaningful.
And lastly, last illustration here is a dear friend of mine, Shmitra Gonzalez, who I met on International Women's Day. We were both speaking at the same women's conference in Washington, D.C., and she's a victim of human trafficking here in the United States, recruited by women at 16. And she's a survivor, and she has a program called Home for Grace. She has a variety of social entrepreneurships that help finance helping these young women get back into society. And she's become an incredibly gifted and highly sought speaker, and I'll let her share what she feels about social entrepreneurship. Over to you, Shmitra. Share us just a little bit about what gets you
Yeah.
excited about social entrepreneurship and what that means to you?
Social entrepreneurship to me, so to me, the word social before anything always brings about connectivity, connection, and bringing us closer. I believe we're all connected to one source and that there is one race, the human race. I believe that entrepreneurs that have been 501c3, 501c4, LLC, S Corps, all of these things are to serve. And when you serve, I think social entrepreneurship, bringing us all together, gives us a platform and a space to be able to serve everybody and to be able to travel the world. Like I think of social entrepreneurship as connection to the actual business of people. And when you do business with people, not business with business. So having people at the forefront of that entrepreneurship, connecting us together, and then like you said, resource-wise, it's not about grants and hedge funds and PAC scholarship, like all these things. It's about connecting resources and money together in order to be able to create impact.
So I'm just going to say in summary here, and I know my time is up. In summary, being a social entrepreneur is the ability to support yourself, to have an income, to create a for-profit business, and to be able to both live your own life well and take care of others and build social initiatives that can be sustainable on the ground. You have a business plan, you build it like a business. You're not dependent on ongoing services, ongoing handouts, ongoing grants and donations. You're able to fund yourself. If you'd love to learn more, I have a live weekly streaming show on USA Global TV Network where I've had amazing guests, NASA engineer, social entrepreneur. You can check it out. I'll put that in the links. 3 things that I do to help bring people together is the Socialpreneur Mentoring Circle. That's bi-weekly. It's extremely low cost, and all the proceeds go directly into donations to the podcast to help spread the word. The Strategic Socialpreneur Cohort, which is also basically called our mastermind, which is for socialpreneurs who are really learning the know-how and what to do next, and then even one-on-one coaching. And lastly, today, if you would like to come by and check out our mentoring circle and see some amazing stories, I have an incredible guest coming in, a social entrepreneur and inventor from Houston, Texas, and he has an absolutely mind-blowing story about what he is doing to help cancer survivors. You will love coming. He's a very animated and happy person and will love to share. And I thank you guys for letting me share. As I go here, I'm going to, so I can stop share. I'll put in the notes, both my links again, and also the link for today, so that if you'd like to come by, it's at 7 British Standard Time. We'd love to have you drop in and hang out with us. We're a really chill, relaxed, happy group, and you would just feel right at home. So thank you, Jill, and my apologies, you all, from going over.
Thank you so much, Anne. That was fascinating. And I think all of us were quite happy that you went over just a little bit. Now I've just got to stretch time. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm signed up to come to that one tonight. So hopefully if I get all my jobs done, I will be joining you this evening. And I think